Again, I'm repeating. Replacement of anonymous. Again, the coding of anonymous inner class can be reduced with the help of lambda. Before that, you know what is anonymous inner class, why we are using, when we are using. That is why I raised the question. From there, it went to the question of inner class. No worries. We'll have a recap. Listen. So, as I said, on that day, we had wrapper class and there is a topic nested class. So, I'll be having a class and the class will be defined inside another class. The class which is holding the other class is called as outer class and the one is called as inner class. And further to that, this inner class can be further classified into 4. So if it is a regular class, class X, inside I have class Y. This falls under the category regular inner class. Along with that, if I add a word static, this falls under the category static inner class. So I took an example of student class. In student is an outer class. Inside student, I made attendance and a variable student ID which belongs to student class. Student class is having attendance class which is a regular inner class. I put in another class which is semester, but before that I added a word static. So in order to create object for regular inner class, you need the reference object of outer class. But static inner class object can be created directly without any object. This is a syntax to create object for a regular inner class. This is a syntax to create object for static inner class. Whereas the third category of inner class is method local inner class. So I'm having a class. Inside a class, I have a method. Whatever we are defining in a method, it is a local. So I have a method. Inside method, I have a class. So this is method local inner class. I cannot access this class anywhere outside the method. So inside the method only, I'll be creating an object and I'll be calling the respective functionality of my method local inner class. At any cost, I cannot reference my method local outside the method. No, everything is inside the method. The fourth category is called as anonymous inner class with no name. So I'll be creating an object, but it will be considered as a class, but that class will not have a name. Usually anonymous inner class will be used for a replacement of a concrete centralized class. Listen carefully. Assume like there is an abstract class. Abstract class consists of abstract method without definition. So what we will do? We will create a centralized child class which will inherit from abstract class and it needs to override my abstract method. We will create an object for a parent with reference to child and we will call the method. My abstract method is print age. Any doubt with this regular abstract class, child class? This is also possible. Creating an object of parent with reference to child, that is what they are using in yesterday's demo. What is that? Mobile list is equal to new array list of. Creating an object of parent interface with reference to child. Polymorphic object. I'll be having an abstract class with abstract method which needs to be override and which needs to be called. Listen carefully. Instead of having this centralized class, I can have an anonymous class over here without the centralized class. Same coding. See here. Abstract class age. Abstract class is having abstract method. No need to have a child class. Instead, in my main, I can create an object for my abstract class. Along with that, this is called as an anonymous inner class. Along with that, see here, it is a class without name. I have open, close. Anonymous inner class alone will end with semicolon. Inside that, inside an anonymous inner class, I will override the method and I will define the method according to my requirement. This is not required. Instead of concrete class and calling an object, you can call directly. This block is anonymous inner class. By using this object, if I call the method, it will go to this method and it will print the functionality, whatever the functionality. Today's class, I have an abstract class or I may have an interface with the abstract method. Instead of a centralized concrete class, instead of these 3 lines or 4 lines, these 4 lines will be replaced with 1 line by using lambda. That is what I'm about to introduce. So please look into the other example. Public interface fruit. Fruit is having the method print taste. So I should have a child class needs to be override this method. Instead of that, I can go for anonymous inner class. This 4 line can be replaced today with 1 single lambda expression. That's all. Always anonymous inner class. We will create an object which will end with semicolon. Don't consider it as a class name. It is not a class name. It is an object. Shall I continue with lambda? Any query on these examples?
No, ma'am.
If you have any query, any explanation required, even you copy paste it and execute and check the output. If you get the idea about this, then introducing lambda will be a meaningful. Today, again, I'm repeating, instead of these 4 lines, I'm going to replace with 1 single functional lambda. Lambda is associated with method.
Ma'am.
Yes, Arshad.
Ma'am, I tried the same anonymous inner class example, but I didn't use any of this interface or abstract class. Still, it ran finely.
That's okay. So these examples are what I want to say is we are actually using anonymous in the inner class in the place of abstract classes and interfaces. Even without that, if you are defining any of the predefined classes via object, that is also fine. You share the code on chat.
Yes.
Whatever example you tried. Where is your code, Harshad? Copy paste it. In today's session, that roll number, open object, print roll number can be replaced with one single line. Machine will consider that roll number block as a class. It is a class inside another class, but without a name. Okay, guys, please pay attention. Let's continue. I'm assuming the silence as that you have understood, or you can able to recollect this anonymous inner class and this demo. Abdul, Adesh, Akash, three of you just give me the sign off. The demo and the topic is clear to you. Adesh, Akash. Are you guys in front of machine? Mainak, you there? Mainak?
Yes, ma'am.
Sometime back I called your name, but there is no response.
Ma'am, actually, too much noise is coming out in around me. That's why.
Akash, you there?
Yes, ma'am.
I called you a minute back to get the confirmation that these examples and topics are clear to you.
It's not clear. Ma'am, is Mainak here?
Yes, Mainak.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the beside me, marriage ceremony is happening. That's why too much noise is coming out.
Okay. Find the place. You can use headset to avoid the external disturbances.
Yeah, ma'am. I am using headset for today.
Okay, guys, let's continue with Lambda. Lambdas are essentially anonymous function. Here we are not dealing with a class. Today's topic is completely dealing with function. I'm going to pass a function in another function and I'm going to return the output. My definition, my calling, my return, everything will be in one function. So as I said, in the same coding, we will eliminate this anonymous inner class with the help of Lambda. So these 4 lines can be reduced with one single line with the help of Lambda. And the Lambda has been introduced in Java 8 and later versions. So there were 2 types of Lambda. One is expression Lambda, the other one is block Lambda. So expression Lambda will be in one single line. It will return the whatever the expression with one single block. Whereas the block will have the block of code which will be enclosed within curly braces. So let us explore expression Lambda. Let's start with expression Lambda, then we'll go on to block Lambda. So syntax of writing expression Lambda. Listen carefully. The syntax is you will have an open close parenthesis and you will be passing parameters. I can pass 1 or 2 parameter by separated with commas. Even with or without parameter. Parameter is also optional. I can have without parameter, so it will be empty open close parenthesis. I can have 1 parameter, I can have 2 parameters. Very, very important, this symbol.
Ma'am, without parameter also it works.
Without so lambda, I'll repeat, lambda expression will take with or without parameters. We will discuss the same with example. Listen, I can use with, or I can use with one parameter, or I can use with two parameters separated with comma. It's very important. Lambda will be placed with the help of arrow mark. Whatever the body, which will be in a form of single expression, then I can use expression lambda. Whenever I have a function with one single expression as a body, then I can use expression lambda. If I have some 2 or 3 lines or 4 or 5 lines of coding, then I can use blocked lambda with curly braces. So if I have only one single expression in my body of the function, then I can use expression lambda. If I have more number of body, then I can use blocked lambda. So whatever the topic we are discussing, listen carefully. I'll be introducing predefined functions as well as user-defined function. So let us use expression lambda for predefined function, which is comparable, compare to, and comparator, compare method. Requesting all of you to pay attention. So let us discuss the topic with user-defined methods and predefined methods. So starting from expression lambda, let us apply to predefined method, which is compare and compare to. So collections.sort. Instead of calling compare to method, I am gonna to replace with lambda expression. So collections.sort will take two parameters. The first parameter is product list, and the second parameter is comparator object, which will be replaced by lambda expression. Please come along with me. I can use yesterday's demo, or I can use, what is that? Friday's demo. Come along with me. So guys, you remember yesterday's demo? I have created root.csv. I just copy pasted 24 flight details record. And there is a flight class. In the flight class, I used comparable. And there is a main method where I'm calling functions. Read file data, which is used to read all the data and store it in my list based on the file I'm passing. So yesterday, along with the reading and displaying the flight detail, we did a sorting. For sorting, I used comparable, which is single sorting. So what is happening here? Line number 18. If I call collections.sort of flight list, this line, 18th line is going and calling which method? Which method it is calling?
Compare to
method. And I should have minimum 2 records. So based on that, based on any number of records I'm passing, it will do comparison, swapping all with inbuilt algorithm. But the idea behind is when I call this line will go and bind with this method. So I need to define these method in order to achieve the solution. So today's session, I'm gonna to comment this. I don't want these big method. And I don't want to implement comparable also. So I'm going to comment no comparable, no method. Instead of this, so let me implement a lambda, single line lambda expression. Guys, listen. The first parameter will be flight list, and the second parameter, which will be the respective compare method of comparator we used to pass. Instead of the complete method definition, let us pass with lambda. So I need two objects. Let's assume object 1 and object 2. These are the two parameters I want to pass to lambda. When I pass these two as a parameter, my lambda needs to compare. So it needs to compare object 1 dot get distance, object 2 dot get distance. Whatever the data I'm receiving, it should return either 0, positive number, or negative number. That's all. A big comparable comparator method has been replaced with one single line. Same thing I'm using in the previous program. Listen, this is my collection demo 2, and let me use it for collection demo 1. I think I used list demo 2. Guys, listen. In first day session, I used collections.sort my list 3 comma new compare employee name sort. So it will go to employee name sort, and this method is called. Instead of calling this method, no need to have this class at all. I can replace with collections.sort. What is this? My list 3 comma 2 parameters, any parameter. Let's assume parameter 1 and parameter 2. Expression lambda will be having only one single expression as a right hand side, so no curly braces. P1 dot, if you want to get name, same thing is applicable for my employee ID minus P2 dot get employee ID. No need to have a class, no need to override a method. Nothing is required. This is with respect to comparable and comparator. So my flight detail here, sorted flight detail from 160,845 to 13,589. Instead, if you swap here O2 minus O1, you will get in the form of descending order. From highest distance to lowest distance. I'll repeat again. So instead of having a class, a comparable or comparator class, point number 1, I should have a class. A class must implements from comparator. I need to override and I need to define 2 objects and I need to compare. So this 10 lines of code has been replaced with one single line. And this is that line with the help of lambda. And this is my parameters. Any variable I can use. The right hand side will be my body. If it is name, I need to use compare to. If it is numbers, I can do direct comparison. And if we want 0, positive and negative numbers, so convert this to integer if required. Make a note of this. There is no complex coding, only one single line of code. 1 second. So I have totally how many records? 13 or 12 records. 13 records. 8 plus, yeah, 8 plus 5. Can you see the output? This is my actual record, actual data. And next is I am sorting based on name. Adesh, Aarti, Abdul. And what we are doing here, Initially, we are doing sorting based on name. Okay, then we are doing based on
ID.
idea. Same thing we did it, but earlier we used a separate method. So we used a method, a class, and a definition. A class, a definition, everything can be replaced with one single line. This is with comparable and comparator. The same thing I'll be showing you with one single user-defined method. So if you have only one single line, then you can use expression if you have many statements. If I have some 5 lines or 10 lines to be as a body of my lambda as a function. If I have a function with more than one single line, I need to use block lambda with this curly braces. Same syntax, only thing is parameters arrow mark remains same. Here there will be only one expression. Here there will be a block of code. We will have so many statement blocks, set of Java code. So in block lambda, the right side will be the body of the code. So consist of block of code that may contain more than one statement, more than one Java line. Harshit, we will have lots of example. Give me few minutes time. Let me complete this. Since yesterday and Friday, even today morning, I introduced you with this comparable and comparator. I replaced compare and compare to method with this lambda. Let us do for user defined method also. Okay, lambda that is having a block coding called as block lambda. So listen carefully. Whenever if you have loops, conditional construct, printable statement, if else, then we need to use only block lambda. What is the answer for this question?
4th one.
4th one.
A lambda
Four.
expression
And two
can have
parameters.
0 or more parameters. I can have a lambda without parameter or with parameter. Right, yes. Please listen. We will have plenty of examples starting from simple example to complex. Since we had that comparable, I have replaced with that one single line lambda. How are interfaces used in lambda? An interface used in lambda must have only one abstract method. So whenever if you want to use abstract class or interface, we have a strict rule. If you have only one abstract method, then I can use lambda expression. The previous example, comparable and compare to, is having how many abstract method?
1.
Only one. So if you take comparable and comparator, please look into the third point. Both the interfaces provides only one abstract method, which is compare to and compare. Whenever if I have an interface with only one abstract method, then I can use this lambda expression. This kind of interface is called as functional interface. Make a note of it. Functional interfaces are Java interface which consists of dash. Answer please. Are you guys with me or not?
I'm repeat, ma'am.
My
Abstract
question is,
methods.
functional interface is an interface in Java which consists of
Abstract methods.
Only
how
one
many
abstract
abstract
method.
methods?
Only one abstract method.
Only one.
Only one.
Don't forget this point. This is the first point I wanted to add. Functional interface is a Java repetitive interview question. Interface with single abstract method. When I have only one abstract method, the best example is comparator interface and comparable interface, because both are having only one abstract method. So comparator is having, what is the method, abstract method of comparator?
Compared to.
Compared.
Compare, which will take two objects. Whereas comparable is having compare to method, which will take a single object. Listen carefully. Second point, what is the topic? Lambda expressions. So lambda expressions are used to express objects of functional interface. Whenever I have functional interface, instead of my child class, I can use lambda to define its object. Third point, lambda expression implements the only abstract functions, and therefore it implements functional interface. Don't forget these 3 points. So whenever if you have an interface with one abstract method, then it is called as functional interface. So whenever if you have functional interface, in order to define an object, I can use lambda expression. So always lambda expression implements one abstract function. So indirectly, I can use it for functional interface. I will show you with my own example. Listen. What I can put. Okay. So let me put my own example. No problem. So there is a strict rule. The rule is there should be only one abstract method. So what is the regular syntax? I want to do this program in 3 different ways. One is a regular way. So if I have interface game, void play game. So I have an interface with one abstract method. In general, what we will do?
Implement.
Create the class and implement this.
Interface.
Very good. So I will be creating a class. A class will implement this interface. And when you are overriding, don't forget, interfaces methods are public. So I need to override. And I'll be having main method. Help me in completing this. How to call play game?
Will
Either
Create
you-
object.
We will create a regular object or polymorphic object. Both are correct.
regular object.
This is one way. I'll save this document. Listen. This is a regular way. Some time back, we discussed based on anonymous inner class. So do I want to create this basketball in anonymous inner class?
We
Yeah,
have
ma'am.
Not required. Instead, here within this
With the curly
semicolon,
braces.
lambda expression. We'll replace it over here. Yes.
please compare the leftmost code, the central code. Any syntax mistake, please tell me. And the third category is using. Can I use lambda?
Yes. Yes.
Why I can use lambda here?
Interface only have one abstract
Very
method.
good. Interface is having one abstract method.
Ma'am, and in the object.play game above the curly braces, there is a semicolon.
Inner class alone will end with semicolon. I'll check and confirm this. So inner class alone will end with semicolon. Okay. Now let me complete lambda. Guys, listen. Here, even this is not required. Listen. So what is my interface? Game. Let me create object equal to how many parameters I'm having for my method?
Single.
Hmm?
One parameter.
What is that parameter?
One.
What is the
Zero.
parameter of my method? Is there a parameter for my method?
No. No, ma'am.
No.
Zero method.
Zero parameters.
parameter.
Do I have parameter here? No. Do I have any return type? No. I'm just having a printable statement. So no parameter. So open close is empty. Arrow mark. That's all. Story over. Okay. Even this I can put here so that I can have a maximized code. That's all. Just to have a visibility, I am making a single line here. Take time. Interface game and its abstract method remains same. And don't forget, there should be only one abstract method. Instead of having an anonymous class, instead of having a separate basketball, even in later version of Java, they are planning to remove an abstract class completely via this way by using lambdas. Okay, this line is alone important for me. That's all. The single line is called as lambda, and this comes under the category expression lambda. Because I have one single expression. If I have some 5 lines, I can put curly braces. Even though if I put curly braces also, no problem. Is that clear, guys? If I put curly braces also, it is valid. If I don't put also, it's valid because I'm having only one expression, one single line. No parameter. Take time, analyze the 3-way, regular way, a week, 10 days back when we are into OOPS concept. I have been telling you this regular way, but there we may have many abstract methods. And yeah, after that, anonymous inner class. And today, all these 5 lines has been replaced with one single line. So if by default, if I call game, this is gonna to call, no confusion, because a strict rule is for only one abstract method I'm gonna to implement. From today, for next 3 days, we are gonna to use a single line of expression, which is lambda. Shall I continue with different example, guys?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Please compare regular
Yes,
way
ma'am.
and anonymous way, one line. Yeah. So let's have demo 2. Come along with me. So let me create an interface I. Assume that the interface I is having a method, greet method. Let me create without parameter and then I'll create with parameter. Okay. I object 1 is equal to, since it is having return type, I can call here. So sometimes it leads to casting problem. So do an appropriate data type casting. So let it be my demo 2. Take time, analyze, and let it be my demo 3. Interface J, greeting. So let's assume, listen carefully. Let's assume greeting is taking a parameter, and that parameter is a string parameter.
Ma'am, second demo, no parameters there, no, ma'am.
Correct. See, I'm going with one parameter and assume like let it be n.
Third one is a parameter.
That's all. You can pass a runtime value. I know, I mean. Where did I make any syntax error? Any syntax error?
J object maybe.
Huh?
An object.
Object 3, object 3, object 1, object 1.
No, ma'am, there is no error.
Okay, pa. I'll show you the output. I hope you are all with me. My interface I is holding only one abstract method, which is greet. So that abstract method I am defining with the help of lambda. So interface object, no parameter, so empty block, lambda. It needs to return good morning. For safer side, go for typecasting. And since it is returning string, you can call the method inside print line. Whereas the previous method, it is returning void. So I cannot call inside print statement. That is the difference. Whereas if you look into J is taking one parameter and it is returning string. So whenever I'm calling greeting, I should call with one parameter that should be string, and body, according to your requirement, you can place. Okay, I'll show you the output. I'll copy paste the code. Output is not a very big deal. The idea behind the program is important. So let me create demo 3. Listen. Let us do a Java class. Let it be demo 4. Come along with me. So I'm creating an interface, and the interface is calculation, and the interface is holding a method addition with 2 parameter. Create a polymorphic object for your interface. How many parameters? So 2 parameters. Data type matters. You can give any parameter. Let it be N1 and N2. If it is single expression, you can return. Object 4 dot addition. You can pass any number of parameter. Any value to the parameter, which should be 2. Whatever the demo we discussed, it is example for expression lambda and a functional interface with one abstract class. I haven't touched on block lambda. Let us do a block lambda for any requirement. No child class, no method overriding, no inner class, nothing. Can be replaced with one single expression. So expression lambda. Even if you use curly brace also, no problem.
Ma'am, within curly braces, can we use another one more expression?
We
Like,
will have it.
N2
We will
minus
have it.
N1 or N1 minus N2?
Yeah, how you will do. At a time, the function needs to return only one value. Wait for block lambda. As I said, we need to use it for some meaningful collection of values.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. You cannot put multiplication. In other word, what I can put is, listen. Can I have int answer is equal to N1 plus N2?
Yes, ma'am.
One second.
Yes.
One second. Not sure with the syntax. I'll confirm once.
I think semicolon also.
Return.
Yeah. Somewhere or the other, I should not use semicolon.